Good evening and many thanks for joining us. You're watching QTV and we're broadcasting live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. This is the news with me, Ansman Esonyase. Here are the main news headlines. President Adama Barrow returned to Banjul on Tuesday from the just concluded UN General Assembly in New York and spoke to reporters about various issues affecting the country. National Assembly members have debated on the rate of road traffic accidents in the country, which is claiming hundreds of lives. And the 2020 Animal Health Bill, which seeks to repeal the 1944 Diseases Animal Act and promote animal health and welfare, was read on Tuesday for the second time at the National Assembly. A senior feeder roads manager at the National Roads Authority says the recent pronouncement by the NRA warning those scraping loose basalt on the road in Sabah Sanjar area to stop doing so is not as serious as initially thought. And in international news, Shinzo Abe, Japan's former prime minister who was assassinated in July, was given a state funeral on Tuesday, attended by more than 50 current and former heads of state. Stay tuned as we bring more on these and other stories. And we now take a look at the news in detail. President Adama Barrow returned to Banjul on Tuesday following his participation in the just concluded UN General Assembly. Speaking to journalists at the foot of the aircraft, the president expressed concern with the current security situation in the country, amongst others. He also called on the opposition to support government's development agenda. More in this report. Citing the ongoing global crisis, President Barrow says the UN General Assembly summit was timely, adding that it presented world leaders an opportunity to address some of the most pressing global problems, especially the economic challenges. He reveals that as part of its support to UN member countries to mitigate the impact of the ongoing global crisis, especially climate change, the US government has pledged over $600 billion, further disclosing that the Gambia expects to receive at least $28 million in support.
Climate change is real and is affecting everybody, including the Gambia. Now we have erratic rainfall in this country, and that is also affecting. We have floods affecting people, natural disasters. So this is affecting all countries all over the world, especially we, the third world countries, knowing very well that our budgets are very, very small, our resources are limited. But there was a pledge by the American government, a pledge over $600 billion. We believe that Gambia will access part of it. I think there is already a pledge of $28 million for the Gambia, $28 million.
Addressing growing concerns over the increase in price of essential foods, the president says it's a global crisis. However, he says his government is doing everything possible to mitigate the impact of the economic crisis.
We are doing everything possible because we are subsidizing some of the commodities. We have removed a tax on rice, that is our staple food, and also we are subsidizing fuel in this country. So I think we are doing everything possible within our means to address the economic crisis.
He also refutes claims his government is slow in reacting to increases in prices and reveals some of the steps taken by government to address the ongoing economic crisis.
I don't think we are slow. Our resources are limited. I think that is our constraint.
He also had a message for business owners, especially those selling essential food commodities.
Well, my message is let them be positive. We can look for profit, but let's minimize our profit. This is our country. We are the only people who can develop this country. And the business people, they are a partner to government. They are complementing our efforts. It's better for us to come together to make sure that we address the crisis.
Also addressing growing concerns over the current security situation in the country, President Barrow says it is unfortunate and vows to work closely with the security chiefs to address it. Meanwhile, he also called on the opposition to support government's development agenda. He describes the protest by Gambians in the US as also unfortunate, adding that as far as Gambia's development is concerned, he has an open-door policy.
I think we have a very good meeting, very good reception. There was the negative part of it also. Some Gambians came out to protest against me, but they are Gambians, but they are Gambians UDP who came out to protest against me. It's the same people who organized the 3S journey. It's the same people who are also working on protesting against me in November. But I will call on all of them. My doors are open. Let them come so that we work together.
The president was received at the airport by several cabinet ministers, senior government officials and service chiefs, as well as NPP supporters. Ansman Esonyanse for KTV News. Now, the rate of road accidents and their claiming of hundreds of lives in the country is a matter of exceptional public interest, enough to be a matter for debate at the National Assembly, following a matter of the day statement by the National Assembly member for Nyanija constituency. For more, here's my colleague Mohamed Lamin Choi.
Road safety is a serious public concern, especially for a country that alarmingly and steadily registers an increasing number of road accidents, causing the loss of hundreds of lives. Traffic accidents, with their shocking statistics in the Gambia, have prompted the NAM for Nyanija constituency, Amadou Kamara, to read out a statement spelling out the facts for fellow National Assembly members.
Statistics have revealed that in 2020 and 2021, the country has officially recorded 789 and 971 road traffic accidents, respectively. This shown as an increase in the number of accidents from 2020 to 2021. What is more alarming, Honorable Speaker, is that the first quarter of 2022 only has registered 382 road traffic accidents so far. This means if the trend continues, by the end of 2022, that is by the end of this year, we may register close to 1,500 accidents.
The Gambia has a global ranking of 8 in road accidents due to its record in increasing road accidents and losses of life. The Nyanija NAM tasks government to consider road accidents in the country and to take up mitigating measures. NAM's debate this statement, and there is unity in pointing out the possible causes and solutions. Here are the announcements for Bintang, Upper Fuladu West and Central Badibuk constituencies.
Because many of our friends, many of our family members, many of our colleagues are dying because of this road traffic accident. Even myself today, when we were coming, what we have seen on the highway is just that we were very, very fortunate. Otherwise, we could have involved into accident. Because sometimes some of the drivers, they can drive, but they don't know the traffic laws.
This year, we experienced serious accidents in the South Bank Road, especially in my constituency, very serious. The first village where it happened, 11 people lost their lives. The other village, that is Bulanjor, the other village, 3 people lost their life. And the other village, Bajaga, 2 people also lost their life.
One, to employ speed limits where they are not available, to use CCTV cameras so that those who are fond of hit and run could be caught. The issue of lancing should be really looked at. The act also should be revisited, and also to add Ministry of Works and Infrastructure as stakeholders to really look at the accident issues in the Gambia. Thank you.
The results of road traffic accidents have brought a high mortality rate and caused life-changing injuries for victims, most of whom are youth. Road traffic injuries are a significant cause of death and disability, and in the Gambia, they generate economic losses of over $2 billion each year through treatment costs, loss of productivity, and ongoing pain and suffering. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
And we still stay with Mohamed Lamin Choi on parliamentary matters as he reports that the National Assembly on Tuesday read for the second time the 2020 Animal Health Bill. The bill seeks to repeal the 1944 Diseases Animal Act, promote animal health and welfare, and enable the livestock sector to contribute to the Gambia's economy.
Animals are essential to man, and hence they are living beings with significance to our livelihood, deserve welfare and healthcare services. A bill to facilitate the promotion of the welfare and health of animals is before the National Assembly, introduced last week by the Agriculture Ministry, represented by the Justice Minister, Dauda A. Jallo.
Honorable Speaker, with your kind permission, the objects and reasons of this bill goes as follows. The Diseases of Animals Act 1944 is outdated and does not address the current needs of the Gambian veterinary domain in meaningfully contributing to food security, food safety, income generation, and wealth creation of Gambians, and in meeting international standards that may facilitate the Gambia in accruing benefits in its participation in international trade in animals and animal products.
Disease in animals have devastated some of the world's poorest communities and damaged international trade. This animal health bill has a provision that identifies mechanisms for veterinary services of animals.
This bill therefore seeks to A, repeal the Diseases of the Animals Act 1944 and replace it with an act that is more responsive to the needs of the Gambian people. B, enable the livestock sector to contribute significantly to the economy and prosperity of the people of the Gambia. And C, enable the veterinary services to efficiently facilitate optimal animal health, animal welfare, public health, production, resilience, and trade in livestock subsector of the country.
At the second reading of a bill, NAMS are allowed to debate the merits and general principles of it. The debate on the motion for the second reading of the bill shows unanimous support from NAMS. The debate highlights passionate feeling from NAMS on animal health welfare, food safety and security in the country.
There will be law on breeding, there will be law on rearing and keeping of specified animals. Some of the people will keep certain animals with them. This is a very varied bill because it is dealing with all kinds of animals. So some people even keep snakes as their pets. So all that is embedded in this. So the law should address all that.
I think this is a very important bill. And I have been always talking about livestock sector since I came to this parliament, and I'm still talking about it because I know how a livestock is to us. And we all know when we talk of agriculture, I used to say it's not only crops, it's about animals.
In a unanimous vote, the Animal Health Bill is read for the second time and is committed to the Assembly's Business Committee for referral to a relevant committee for detailed scrutiny. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
And that report there by Mahmoud Lamin Choi will lead us to the commercial break. But when we return, we have some more local and international news stories.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Bank from here and there and here too, here and even here. Introducing the Bloom Digital Suite from Bloom Bank Africa, web and mobile banking that allows you to bank on the go at your convenience and on your own terms. Check and transfer funds, pay NAWEC bills, buy cash power, buy mobile credit, and so much more. For more information, visit www.bloombankafrica.com or pass by any of our branches nationwide. Download from the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Bloom Digital Web and Mobile Banking on the go from Bloom Bank Africa.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Be reminded you're following QTV News and we're broadcasting live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Now, a senior feeder roads manager at the National Roads Authority says the recent pronouncement by his institution warning those scraping loose basalt on the road in Sabah Sanjal area to stop doing so is not as serious as initially thought. He also told QTV in an interview that recent feeder roads under construction will be durable after completion. More in the story by Mahmoud Gajaka.
After releasing a public notice last week, the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure and the National Road Authority to urge people to desist from taking the loose basalt on the road under construction at Sabak Sanjal, it appears there has been a rethink. The press release had been issued in response to videos posted on social media, which appeared to show people scrapping the basalt off the under construction road. However, the NRA's senior feeder roads manager, Bani Taiwo Chapman, says it's not as serious as the press statement puts it.
There should not have been a problem. I think people just misconceived the most important part of this issue. You know, yes, I engaged the contractors and the consultant, and I was made to understand it was the contractors who wanted to give this out to the community. But the manner in which it was done was the problem. There was where the problem lied. It should have been actually taken off the site to a special location where people could have taken it.
The video, which emerged on social media showing people using shovels, rakes and brooms to sweep the loose basalt, led to questions about the road's quality and durability. Chapman says, despite appearances, this type of road construction is durable.
I can assure and reassure people that this is not the only road that has been built in Gambia using this double sealing method. And it is always proven to be successful. And I think this one is not going to be the one out. I can reassure that this road can live another 10 years.
Poor road infrastructure is clearly visible, especially in the Greater Banjul area and the West Coast region. One of these roads is the Farah to Jambu Road, which is under construction. While being constructed, one can see potholes in the middle of the road. Despite the damage being visible, Taiwo Chapman sees it differently.
Those are not potholes. Once the road is not finished, you cannot say they are potholes. No, this happened. I think this is what happened on the Julbru Road, right through Kanifing. If you could remember, last year, it was the same outcry we had. And the sad thing is, after all is said and done, go back to the road and see. It was during the process of the road construction that these potholes, because of the rains, the water doesn't go. One thing we must understand is water doesn't work well with roads. And we're right in the middle of the rainy season.
Roads infrastructure in the Gambia is poor. Even where they are tired, the lack of drainage and poor construction have been exposed during this rainy season, with many roads rendered unusable. Omudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Now, 50 participants are undergoing training in 3D printing for the medical sector, organized by the MRC Gambia at the London School of Hygiene in collaboration with Make 3D Company Limited and Prusa Research. The two-day forum brings new opportunities to scale up the impact of 3D printed innovations. Ajibintu Drame has more.
The two-day workshop held at MRC Gambia Unit Campus in Fajara, which is supported by the Czech Development Agency, is on the theme 3D Print in Health, sharing experiences between the Czech Republic and the Gambia. The workshop was conducted online and in person will create a platform to share experiences in 3D printing in the medical field and includes representatives from hospitals, research institutions, ministries, NGOs and students, among others. This is Fatou Jukadabo, Director of Make 3D Company Limited.
When we started, there was no 3D printing in health in Gambia. This was almost 3 years ago. But with institutions like MRC, it has been embraced and it is getting to a point where we have 3D printed products that are made, that are actually certified in the Gambia to be used in healthcare. And MRC is currently championing 3D printing in health.
3D printing technology, also known as additive manufacturing, can provide effective locally made innovative solutions to local challenges.
Moving forward, we are hoping that the Gambia will use 3D printing as a technology that will solve problems in healthcare, not only in the form of making the products here, but also in the shortening the logistic chains, or in the cases of imports and exports. Because when you look at Gambia, almost all of our health devices or all of our medical equipment are imported or are being sent to the Gambia. Not a lot of health devices are being manufactured in the Gambia.
As a partner, Prusa Research is the world's leading manufacturer of 3D printers. Jakub Mosek, representative from Prusa Research, explains.
Gambia is new in the 3D printing, and we, the Prusa Research, a company from Czech Republic, we are one of the biggest 3D printing company in the world. So we are trying to share information with Gambian people and try to help, for example, in healthcare.
Davis Wakanma, Chief Operating Officer MRC Gambia, shares his thoughts on how 3D will improve the health sector in the Gambia and the sub-region.
Now, as a unit, we have very strong biomedical engineering section. They are the ones that maintain the biomedical equipment that we have. And anybody operating in this sub-region and in most of Africa will know that maintaining equipment, sourcing spares, being able to keep your facility running is a key challenge in medical research. So 3D printing is an added advantage to maintaining your operation. But as we had this morning in the workshop, it also offers tools for teaching, for printing visuals that you can use in education.
Dr. Alia Ahmed, a PhD student and a participant, explains the significance of 3D printing for him.
So this is a student-led project that we put in as part of a competition during the Queen's Jubilee competition for carbon reduction. And the idea is basically to reduce carbon emission in the unit through recycling of plastics and green waste to reduce carbon emission associated with the management process of disposing this waste. We would be using 3D printers to print directly from shredded plastic waste.
3D printing is rapidly approaching a critical juncture in healthcare. The technology has proved successful in improving surgical techniques through the development of organ models, bone and joint implants, and precision instruments. If embraced, implemented, and properly managed in the Gambia's health sector, it will address most challenges and cut down on importing medical expenditures. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
And from that report there by Ajibintu Drame, over now to international news in a moment. Now, in international news, Shinzo Abe, Japan's former prime minister who was assassinated in July, was given a state funeral on Tuesday. Although more than 50 current and former heads of states were in attendance, Tuesday's event was criticized for the high cost and for being unconstitutional. Loliam Kamara reports.
Thousands of guests, local and global leaders, particularly from Japan's closest allies, gathered to pay their last respect to Shinzo Abe, who was Japan's longest-serving prime minister. Abe was assassinated as he gave a speech at a political rally. This caused shock as Japan is unused to gun crimes or political violence. 41-year-old Tetsuya Yamagami was arrested at the scene for attempted murder, and the charge was later upgraded to murder after Abe was pronounced dead. At the state funeral, Abe's widow Ake was dressed in a black kimono, walked slowly, carrying her husband's ashes in a silk-covered funeral vase. The widow placed it on a white altar covered in white flowers, above which hung a huge photo of Abe. The announcement of a state funeral by the incumbent Prime Minister Fumio Kishida for Abe on the 27th of September was criticized for the high cost and for lacking a constitutional basis. Traditionally, only members of Japan's impartial family are given a state funeral, and media reports say foreign dignitaries who attended the ceremony were surprised by the protest. The funeral went ahead despite growing opposition from the Japanese public, with opinion polls showing around 60% oppose it. At the arena in Tokyo where the funeral was taken, the queue of mourners carrying flowers stretched for over 3 kilometers, 1.8 miles, and all of them wearing black and carried flowers to pay their last respect one last time. In a different scenario, a short distance away in front of the Japanese parliament, thousands more gathered to demonstrate their opposition loudly and angrily. Abe served 2 separate terms as Japanese leader for the right-leaning Liberal Democratic Party, the first from 2006 to 2007, and again from 2012 until 2020. His second period was the longest consecutive term for a Japanese head of government. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
And I'm afraid this is where we draw the curtains on this bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here's a recap from main headlines. President Adama Barrow returned to Banjul on Tuesday from the just concluded UN General Assembly in New York and spoke to reporters about various issues affecting the country. National Assembly members have debated on the rate of road traffic accidents in the country which is claiming hundreds of lives. The 2020 Animal Health Bill, which seeks to repeal the 1944 Diseases Animal Act and promote animal health and welfare, was read on Tuesday for the second time at the National Assembly. And a senior feeder roads manager at the National Roads Authority says the recent pronouncement by the NRA warning those scrapping loose basalt on the road in Sawasanjal area to stop doing so is not as serious as initially thought. And in international news, Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated in July, was given a state funeral on Tuesday, attended by more than 50 current and former heads of states. That's it for this bulletin. Do join us at 10 p.m. for more news. Thanks for watching.